Once upon a time, there was a 14-year-old girl who wanted to swim fast and change the world. Her name was Ann Warner, and before she was done, she would manage to not just earn an Olympic gold medal, but to alter the way people in the Bay Area thought about women and sports. First, though, the teenaged Ann Warner had races to win. When she was barely out of junior high school, she finished first in the breaststroke at the 1959 Pan American Games in Chicago. A year later, at age 15, she won a spot on the U.S. Olympic team in Rome. A sixth-place finish in the breaststroke was followed by her participation on the gold medal-winning 400-meter medley relay team. Then she returned to high school, stopped competing, and retired.
Swimming in the 1950s and 1960s was a young girls' sport at the time, and it didn't get a lot of recognition. Girls used to retire at 16 or 17 years of age because there wasn't collegiate swimming afterwards, so girls never really were given a chance to reach their full potential.
In fact, it was more than a decade later that Ann, by then a mother and wife, returned to college and eventually earned her Stanford degree. Now known as Ann Warner Cribbs, she became recreation director for Palo Alto, and then formed a public relations and event planning firm with partner Gary Cavalli. In 1996, the two of them founded the American Basketball League, the country's first major professional female team sports organization that involved the players as part of the administration and planning process. The ABL featured health insurance, stock options, and other unprecedented benefits formulated and fought for by Cribbs.
I think she's a trailblazer across the board, and not in more than just sports even, in terms of just how to live your life with integrity and passion.
The ABL played exciting basketball for 2 seasons, but it folded when the NBA, seeing how successful the sport could be, formed its own women's league and won the war for sponsorship and television money. Cribbs was heartbroken, but quickly found a new focus for her energy. The Bay Area was gearing up to bid on the 2012 Olympic Games, and it sorely needed a leader. Cribbs stepped up and volunteered to lead the local organizing group, BASOC.
There's no question that the BASOC bid to host the 2012 Olympics was dead in the water until Ann came on board. I was a member of the board before and a member of the board sort of pre-Ann and post-Ann, and she really did turn the thing around. She has an incredible way of getting people to reach a consensus and making them think it's their thoughts. We used to laughingly call it her Jedi mind control.
Cribbs, who remembered both the good and the bad about her own 1960 experiences in Rome, was determined to do something no other Olympic bid had previously done, include athletes as well as the business community in the Bay Area's planning effort. This was no easy swim. Cribbs had to raise millions of dollars, find hundreds of volunteers, and compete against the 8 other American cities that were also pursuing the 2012 Games. But Cribbs was driven by a vision she once stated this way: "The Olympics is the way we want the world to be."
The way she can be inclusive while also keeping what turned out to be a force of about 1,000 people moving in one singular direction is absolutely extraordinary. And I think because of her, the bid was far bigger and far more successful than it ever would have been without her.
In the end, the Bay Area's bid survived the cut to 4 cities, then 2 cities, but finished a narrow second to New York City. But the innovations pioneered by Cribbs, both in the ABL and the Olympic bid, have been adopted by sports organizations from coast to coast.
I've been associated with the U.S. Olympic swimming team over the last 5 Olympiads, and I've noticed that Olympians are people who consistently stay after their goals through discouragements or through setbacks. And that's Ann Cribbs. She's the most optimistic, forward-moving person that I know. She's my hero.
The 14-year-old girl who wanted to swim fast is now plowing ahead again, running her own advertising and public relations company. There, her employees call her boss. Many local female athletes call her a role model. Her grandchildren call her Grammy Ann. But tonight, San Jose calls her a Hall of Famer.